The San Antonio Spurs got gentlemen swept by the New York Knicks, who went on to win the championship in Game 5. So in today's video, we're rebuilding the San Antonio Spurs, and of course, the ultimate goal is to win this team a championship. And taking a look at our team, thankfully we do have some really good young players to build this team around, like Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper. But our most paid player, De'Aaron Fox, was a huge disappointment, especially in the NBA Finals. Throughout the playoffs, he was averaging 15 points per game, 41% from the field, and 29% from the three-point line. As our highest paid player, I had a lot of expectations from De'Aaron Fox, and he definitely did not deliver, so we're definitely going to be trading him this coming off season. Plus, with the rise of Dylan Harper, we're no longer going to need Fox as our starting point guard. We are now here in the offseason, and for staff signings, I will be keeping Mitch Johnson as his team's head coach. I feel like for his first year leading this team, he did a really good job bringing them to the NBA Finals. But for De'Aaron Fox, we're not going to be giving him another chance. It's time to throw him in Trade Finder and see what we could bring back in return. I want you guys to hear me out here for a second. Imagine the front court of Jaren Jackson Jr. and Victor Wembanyama defensively. We're going to be absolutely unstoppable. The Utah Jazz are offering us Jaren Jackson Jr. for De'Aaron Fox, and we're going to make this trade happen. Let's go ahead and pull it off, and just to be a little nicer, I will throw them some second round picks and a future first rounder. This way, it makes a little bit more sense for them to make this trade happen, especially with the way Fox played in the playoffs. And just like that, we bring in Triple J as a brand new power forward. Before the NBA draft, I do want to say that we are on a mission to hit 10,000 subscribers this summer. So if you enjoy these NBA 2K26 rebuilds and haven't already, please make sure you smash that subscribe button. And with our 19th overall pick, these here are the players still left on the draft board. And honestly, I feel like I'm going to go ahead and take Braden Burries. I do think we could run him as a backup point guard or backup shooting guard, depending on where we want to play him. He's a decent three-point shooter, playmaker, and defender. So let's go ahead and draft Braden Burries with our 19th overall pick. And for team player options, of course, we will be picking up the team option for Victor Wembanyama and Julian Champagnie. I'm not sure if there's anyone we need to re-sign here, and it looks like we don't have to give anyone a qualifying offer. Bird rights, it looks like Harrison Barnes is the only player, and honestly, we're not going to be bringing him back. We do have about $14 million we could spend here in free agency. I did want to bring in Isaiah Hartenstein to be our backup center. For some reason, it's not allowing us to give him money. Even though any other player, as you guys could see, we could offer up to $14 million. iHeart only wants 10.5, but it's not allowing him to give that money. So I went ahead and signed Mark Williams on a 4-year, $51 million contract. I do feel like we need a better backup center than Luke Cornett. In the non-Wemby minutes, it's very important for us to have a good center out there doing his thing, and I think Mark Williams could be that player. I do like Mark Williams as a backup center, but I do like Derek Lively II more. So we're going to make this trade happen with the Dallas Mavericks. We do have to give up a first round pick, but don't worry, because I'm going to go ahead and trade Daniel Gafford for a first round pick. So we're basically not really losing any draft capital. We don't need Gafford on this team, so let's see if there's a team willing to give us a first round pick. And for some reason there's not, but Grant Williams, let's go ahead and make this happen. And then I'll also trade away Grant Williams for a second or first rounder. There we go. Charlotte Hornets, welcome back Grant Williams. In free agency, we do also go on to sign Scottie Pippen Jr. and Luke Kennard, who's one of the best three-point shooters. And if you notice something in the playoffs, the Spurs needed more shooters on their team. So the more shooters we have, the better it'll be for our team's future. Alrighty, here we are at the start of this season with a brand new rotation. So in the starting lineup, we have ourselves Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Victor Wembanyama. And then off the bench, we have Julian Champagnie, Keldon Johnson, Carter Bryant, and Derek Lively II. I feel like we've put together a really good team, even though we didn't make many changes. We brought in Derek Lively, we brought in Triple J, and just with that, I feel like that's a big upgrade than last year. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few games of this season to see how we do. The first game is up against 76ers, who we do end up defeating 130 to 115. Wemby dropping 35, 18 with 2 blocks and 1 steal. Dylan Harper 24, Triple J 24, 19 from Champagnie, 13 and 11 from Stephon Castle. We also want to defeat the Grizzlies and Celtics. Let's see, we do lose to the Memphis Grizzlies, but we defeat the Celtics 131 to 120. Vassell 26, 22 from Harper, and 22 from Castle. We will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency balanced under Mitch Johnson. And now I'm going to go ahead and simulate until the end of this season, but of course, if there are any trades to be made, I will be stopping at the trade deadline to show you all. We've stopped here on contract extension day, and I did see that a few players would like to sign contract extensions, one of them being Julian Champagnie. And Julian Champagnie has been playing amazing. He's averaging 12 points per game while shooting nearly 50% from the three-point line. That is unheard of. So I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 3 seasons, and we pay him about $8.5 million annually, and Champagnie goes on to happily accept. Keldon Johnson playing pretty good, 11 points per game, 5 rebounds, 51% from the field, and he also wants a contract extension. We will be signing him for the next 3 seasons, paying him about $9 million annually, and he goes on to happily accept as well. So at the end of this season, Cade Cunningham goes on to win MVP, averaging 35 points per game. Cam Boozer, Rookie of the Year, De'Aaron Fox, 6th Man of the Year with the Utah Jazz, and our boy Victor Wembanyama goes on to win a back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year. And Dylan Harper, Most Improved, let's go. Halliburton Clutch Player, Mitch Johnson winning Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive. So we just want ourselves 4 awards here. We do get ourselves Victor Wembanyama on all NBA First Team. Will we get any more awards? Let's see. Of course, the DPOY, Wemby makes it on all Defensive First Team. And it looks like that will be it for awards. We did end this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 65 games and losing only 17. And that does mean that we won ourselves 3 more games than last season, where the Spurs won a total of 62 games. But now let's take a look at our player stats for the regular season before we jump here in the playoffs. So our leading scorer was none other than Victor Wembanyama, averaging 26 points, 13.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 1.5 steal per game. 21 points per game from Stephon Castle, 19 from Harper, 14.5 from Triple J, 12 from Champagnie, 12 from Vassell, and 11 from Keldon Johnson. And for team stats, let's take a look at our offensive rating. So we had the 2nd best offensive rating with the 2nd best defensive rating and the number 1 best point differential. But now it is time for the playoffs, and in the first round, it looks like we are taking on the Golden State Warriors, who have themselves Stephen Curry, Jaden Ivey, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Kristaps Porzingis. Alrighty, let's see how we do here in the first round against the Golden State Warriors. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Castle dropping 26, 19 from Triple J, and 19 from Wemby. Game number 2, we do go on to win as well, 116-98. Dylan Harper 24, Wemby with a 20-point double-double. We do end up losing game 3, we win game 4, and we go on to gentlemen sweep the Golden State Warriors. So far in the playoffs, Harper is averaging 19 from Stephon Castle, 12 from Vassell, 14 from Triple J, and 29 from Wemby. And I didn't even realize that Wemby's averaging nearly 5 blocks per game. His defense has been on point. But now in the second round of the playoffs, it looks like we have to take on Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks, and in their starting lineup, they have Kyrie Irving, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, PJ Washington, and Mark Williams, and this here is their bench unit. I was taking a look at how Dallas Mavericks players are doing, and Kyrie Irving is averaging 32 points per game here in the playoffs. Hopefully we are able to win this series. Let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up winning. 144-122, 30 from Harper, 29, 15, and 9 from Wemby. We've only made about 1 change to our lineup, so winning a championship could possibly be hard in this first year, but we're still trying. Game number 2, we do end up losing 116-102. Game 3, we go on to win. Let's go 133-121. Wemby dropping 39 points with 13 rebounds. Game 4, we do end up losing. The Mavericks are a really good team in 2K simulation. Harper had 21, 15 from Vassell, and 15 from Triple J. Can we go up 3-2? And yes, we can. 132-84. We outscored them by nearly 50 points. Castle dropping 44, 25 from Harper, and 23 from Wemby. Are we going to close things out here? And yes, we are. 144-92, Wemby with 28 and 12, 21 from Castle, and 20 from Triple J. And now this is where things are going to start getting difficult. The first 2 rounds are usually easy if you have a good team, but once you come to the conference finals is when you either have to take on the Timberwolves or the OKC Thunder. That's when things really get difficult. And now we do have to take on the 2nd seeded Minnesota Timberwolves, who have themselves Dante DiVincenzo, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, with Rudy Gobert coming off their bench. It does look like they lost Ayo Dosunmu, which is pretty good for us. Alright, let's get to simulating and see how things go. In the Eastern Conference Finals, we do have the Detroit Pistons taking on the Atlanta Hawks. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Harper dropping 25, 22, and 14 from Wemby. Game number 2, we also go on to win, putting us up 2-0. Wemby with 26, 17, and 3 with 6 blocks on Naz Reid. We are now up 2-0. Let's see if we can make this 3-0. We will be jumping into Simcast where the Timberwolves do have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead, and it looks like, wait a second, they are kind of pushing back here in the second half, but we do end up closing things out 115 to 112. Castle with 29, 25 from Harper, and 15 from Wemby. Are we going to sweep the Timberwolves? And yes, we are. We going to defeat them in game 4, where Anthony Edwards dropped 41 points, 36 from Randall, and why am I counting the other team's stats? I'm not sure. I completely forgot here, but Wemby had 30, 14 and 9, 2 steals and 5 blocks. Vassell with 21, 21 from Triple J. But Anthony Edwards, let me tell you something, this man did everything possible that he possibly could. I was taking a look at his stats, and he's averaging 40 points per game here in the playoffs. But now in the NBA Finals, we're either going to have to take on the Detroit Pistons or the Atlanta Hawks. Let's see which one it will be, and it is the Pistons. Victor Wembanyama goes on to win Western Conference Finals MVP. Cade Cunningham, Eastern Conference Finals MVP, averaging nearly 40 points per game. Alrighty, and now in the NBA Finals, it is time for us to take on the Detroit Pistons. They have themselves Cade Cunningham, Norman Powell, and whoa, Norman Powell's a really good get for a team like the Pistons. They could definitely use a player like Powell who could create his own shots, score 20 points per game, and is a good three-point shooter as well. Asar Thompson, Ron Holland, and Jalen Duren. And this is their bench unit. They did upgrade their team a lot since last year, so let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up losing 121 to 103, Wemby 26, but sadly Cade Cunningham dropped a 30-point double-double on our head to make us lose that game. And whoa, we just went down 2-0, losing game 2 by 2 points. Stephon Castle 31 to 23 from Triple J. Wemby fouled out in 21 minutes, which is why we probably lost that game. Game number 3, thankfully we do end up winning 133 to 99. Triple J 25, Wemby with 25 and 23 rebounds. We still have to win one more game to top this series. Let's see if we could do that, and yes, we can. We do end up tying up the series, winning game 4, 129 to 104. Wemby 27, 10 and 7 with 6 blocks, and so far here in the playoffs, he's averaging 3.5 blocks per game. Game number 5, we do also go on to win 136 to 101. Wemby 31, 17 and 5, 24 from Castle and 20 from Vassell. And we might really just be winning ourselves a championship in the first year of this rebuild. Are we going to go on to build a dynasty? Let's find out. Let's jump into Simcast here. The Pistons do have home court advantage, and so far they are blowing us out here, and it looks like it's going to a game 7. Wemby played amazing, but we did fall short here. And now it's time for game 7, winner go home situation. Thankfully, home court advantage is on our side. Let's see what happens. We do have the lead. We're up by about 21 points. This game is over, and just like that, we go on to win the San Antonio Spurs a championship. 131 to 96. Triple J 22, Wemby 22, 7 and 10. And now we have won the San Antonio Spurs a championship a year after losing in the NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama goes on to win Finals MVP. And don't think it's over with just one championship. We're going to go for a back-to-back championship and see if we could turn this team into a dynasty. Wemby has the potential, has a good young teammates around him, but this offseason I will be making fun trades just to make this video a little bit more entertaining. I would like to show you guys the player stats before we go into the offseason. So in the playoffs, we played a total of 22 games. And in those 22 games, Wemby was averaging 26, 13, and 5 with 3.5 blocks and 1 steal per game. 20 points per game from Stephon Castle, 20 from Harper, 16 from Triple J, and 12 from Vassell. If you're enjoying this rebuild so far, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also hype the video. Both buttons are absolutely free and it truly does support out the video a ton. In the 27 NBA draft, we did end up with a 20th overall pick and a second rounder, and we do not need these picks whatsoever. We're not really trying to develop rookies here anymore. We're competing for championships. So I'm going to be trading away this pick to the Washington Wizards. In return, we get a top 3 protected 2029 first round pick. And now for team player options, we are going to pick up the team option for Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, and Carter Bryant. Qualifying offers, we do need to re-sign Victor Wembanyama, which is going to be huge for us. Also Derek Lively II, but more so we're worried about Wemby. Could you imagine if Wemby left us here in free agency? But thankfully he can't. He is a restricted free agent, plus we have bird rights on him. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and offer Wemby a contract here. He currently does have 8 other offers. The highest offer is from the Chicago Bulls, 4 years, $201 million. We're going to go ahead and offer him a 5-year deal with a player option on that 5th year. We'll give him about $47 million annually, and it looks like Wemby will be accepting on a 4-year, $210 million contract. I will also go ahead and offer Derek Lively a contract because he's currently getting offered from the Detroit Pistons, so I'm going to go ahead and give him 4-year deal, $7.5 million annually, and he also accepts on a 4-year, $33 million deal. Do we have enough money for both players? And thankfully we do. Okay, so I did not expect for us to still have money even after signing Wemby and Derek Lively, but it looks like we could still spend about $11 million, and I'm going to go ahead and give this money to none other than Ryan Rollins. I'm going to go ahead and offer him a 4-year deal, paying him about $12.5 million annually, and it looks like he does go on to accept 4 years, $53 million. I do have a big trade in mind. As I said, we're going to try and pull off an insane trade. Before that, we need some first-round picks, so I'm pulling off this trade with the Nets, sending them Luke Kennard, 2 second-round picks for 2 future first-rounders. It is now time for us to try and pull off that insanely crazy trade we're going to try and make happen, which is acquiring Chet Holmgren to be our brand new starting power forward. We all know the rivalry between Wemby and Holmgren, but what if we make them into teammates? I feel like we'll have the best front court in the entire NBA. So we're going to be offering the OKC Thunder Triple J, Carter Bryant, Braden Burries, and Cam Johnson for Chet Holmgren, which they do decline, but I will go ahead and start throwing in some first-round picks. 1 first-round pick does not get it done. What about 2 first-round picks? And just like that, we land ourselves Chet Holmgren as a brand new starting power forward. And honestly speaking, I thought the OKC Thunder were going to continue declining that trade, but thankfully we now have a front court of Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren. Imagine how crazy good our defense is going to be, and our offense as well, because this past season, Chet was averaging 22 points with 12 rebounds, 2.5 blocks on 51% from the field. We are ready for this season, and this is the rotation we're going to be rolling with. So in the starting lineup, we have ourselves Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Chet Holmgren, and Victor Wembanyama. And then off the bench, we have Julian Champagnie, Keldon Johnson, Ryan Rollins, and Derek Lively II. Let's go ahead and simulate the first week to see how our team does, and we do end up winning the first game but lose the next 2 to the Raptors and the Hornets. But that's okay, I guess chemistry still does need to be built. We are going to be rolling with a 4.5-star overall system proficiency balanced under Mitch Johnson. I am going to go ahead and start simulating until the end of this season, but of course, if there are any trades to be made, I will be stopping at the trade deadline to show you all. There is 1 game remaining to our season, and Victor Wembanyama is the runner-up to winning MVP. We also have Stephon Castle in the award races to winning MVP. Let's see if Wemby could go on to win. We do defeat the Hawks, and just like that, Victor Wembanyama goes on to win his first ever MVP, averaging 28 points per game, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, and 1.5 steals per game. That is what I'm talking about. Cam Williams wins Rookie of the Year, Jalen Green 6-Man, Victor Wembanyama also winning Defensive Player of the Year, Mikel Brown Jr. Most Improved, Jason Tatum Clutch Player, Mitch Johnson Coach of the Year, and we also win Executive. Of course, the MVP does make it on an All-NBA first team. Will we get any more players here? And yes, we will. We get Stephon Castle on an All-NBA third team. On an all-defensive team, the DPOY is here, Wemby on all-defensive first team, and that will be it for awards. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 70 games and losing only 12. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let's go ahead and take a look at our player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer on our team was none other than the MVP and DPOY, Victor Wembanyama, averaging 28 points per game. Stephon Castle was amazing, 22, 5, and 7, 20 from Dylan Harper, 17 from Chet, and 12 from Devin Vassell. But now in the first round of the playoffs, we do have to take on the Dallas Mavericks, who have Malik Monk, Keaton Wagler, Cooper Flagg, LeBron James, and Mark Williams. I'm not sure why they would pair LeBron with Cooper Flagg unless they're having him be the mentor, but it doesn't really make much sense, especially since you have a much younger Cooper Flagg. Let's go ahead and simulate round, and we do end up sweeping the Dallas Mavericks. So far, Harper's averaging 14, 20 from Castle, 17 and 10 from Chet, 30 and 11 from Victor Wembanyama. And now in the second round of the playoffs, we're taking on the Timberwolves, who have themselves Scottie Pippen, Anthony Edwards, McDaniels, Julius Randle, and Naz Reid, and this is their bench unit. Can we also defeat them? Let's see. Simulate round, and we do end up winning in Game 7. We almost fell short, but thankfully we do come out victorious. And now we have the Phoenix Suns here in the Western Conference Finals, who have Dante DiVincenzo, Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Ryan Dunn, and Kamon Maluach. We rarely ever see the Phoenix Suns make it this far, but let's see how things go here. Game number 1, we do end up losing 104 to 103. We do go on to win game 2, we win game 3, we win game 4, and we gentlemen sweep the Phoenix Suns. Let's go. Victor Wembanyama, Western Conference Finals MVP, Evan Mobley, Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And we may really just win a back-to-back championship. In the NBA Finals, the Cavs were the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference, and they have the same exact starting lineup. James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. I think we're going to be able to beat this team. Let's see. Game number 1, we do win. Wemby 28-21 from, who was that, Vassell? Yeah, 21 from Vassell. Game number 2, we also want to win. This time it's Harper leading the way with 24. Game 3, we do end up losing. We win game 4, and we go on a gentleman sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers to win the Spurs a back-to-back championship. And let's see who won Finals MVP. Of course, it was Victor Wembanyama winning Finals MVP, averaging 26, 8, and 5. I did say we're going to try and make this team into a dynasty, so you know what? We're going for a three-peat. We're going to try running it back one more season to see if we could win our 3rd championship in a row. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and simulate past the off-season, past the regular season, and I'll see you guys in next year's playoffs to see if we could three-peat and win our 3rd championship in a row. Let's go. At the end of this season, our boy Victor Wembanyama goes on to win a back-to-back MVP, averaging 26.5 points per game, nearly 13 rebounds with 3 blocks and 1.5 steals per game on 57, 40, 80 shooting splits. Boyd Kerr Rookie of the Year, Nate Ament Sixth Man, Victor Wembanyama winning his 3rd Defensive Player of the Year in a row. Cam Whitmore Most Improved, Nikola Jokic Clutch Player, our head coach wins, Mitch Johnson wins Coach of the Year, and the Mavericks win Executive. Of course, MVP Wemby makes it on an All-NBA first team. We also get Stephon Castle on an All-NBA 3rd team. Wemby All-Defensive first team, and this time we also get Chet Holmgren on All-Defensive 2nd team. We ended this season as the number 1 seed, winning a total of 66 games and losing only 16. Let me give you guys a quick rundown of how our team players did here in the regular season. Our leading scorer, Wemby, 26.5 points, 21.5 from Dylan Harper, 21.5 from Stephon Castle. Something I did change this season is making Stephon Castle our point guard and Dylan Harper the shooting guard, and Castle's playmaking ever since has been amazing. This season, he's averaging 8.5 assists per game, and since I made him our point guard, he's almost averaging 10 assists per game. Chet was averaging 16 and 11 from Julian Champagnie. But now in the playoffs, we are taking on the Sacramento Kings here. In the first round, they have Reed Shepherd, Kobe White, AJ Devonta, Keegan Murray, and Rudy Gobert. Let's see if we could sweep the Sacramento Kings here in the first round. We do end up losing game 1, but we go on to win game 2. We win game 3, game 4 we also win, and we go on a gentleman sweep the Sacramento Kings. In the second round of the playoffs, we are taking on the Lakers, who no longer have themselves Luka Doncic, but they do have Keontae George, Amen Thompson, Connect, Ron Holland, and Isaiah Hartenstein. They were the number 4 seed, so they are a pretty good team, but game number 1 we end up winning. We win game 2, we win game 3, and we do not sweep them, but we do gentleman sweep them. And so far here in the playoffs, Castle's averaging 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 8 assists. 20 from Harper, 19 from Chet, and 28 from Wemby. Now I believe this is going to be a very tough challenge, and that's because Cooper Flag has gone up all the way to a 95 overall, and not only that, the Mavericks also have Ja Morant and Jalen Green. They do have Mark Williams, Miles Bridges, Cooper, Jalen Green, and Ja Morant, so let's see how things go. Wait a second, they also have an 86 overall Keaton Wagler as their 6th man, and Khalil Ware as the backup center. But game number 1 we do end up winning. Wemby 33 with 6 blocks, 28 from Harper, 21 and 10 from Chet. Game number 2 we also going to win. Chet with 22, 19 from Johnson. Game 3 we do end up falling short here, but we win game 4. We do not gentlemen sweep this team, and it looks like it will be going to a game 7. And that's what I mean. Cooper Flag in 2K Simulation is a really good player. But now enough praise for Cooper Flag. We have to defeat this team in game 7, where we will have home court advantage. So far we do have the lead here in the first half by quite a bit as well, and it looks like we will be winning 131 to 107. Wemby dropping 30 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists. Victor Wembanyama winning Western Conference Finals MVP 27, 10, and 5 with 2 blocks and 1 steal. Jason Tatum Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And now in the NBA Finals, we have to take on the Boston Celtics, who have themselves a pretty good team here. They have Marcus Sasser, Jaylen Brown, Chris Murray. Never mind, this is not a good team whatsoever. Other than Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they have a bunch of 70 overall players. I don't know how this team even made the NBA Finals, but let's see how things go. Game number 1, we do end up winning. Wemby dropping 40 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists with 3 blocks. We also go on to win game 2, and yes, we can. Harper dropping 30, Wemby with a 25-point double-double. Game number 3, we go on to win, and we sweep the Boston Celtics, who win the San Antonio Spurs their 3rd championship in a row, with Victor Wembanyama winning his 3rd Finals MVP in a row. He was averaging 30 points per game, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks, 1.5 steal per game. The 3-peat has been completed, so we are going to be ending out this video, but let me show you guys the player stats before I do. In the playoffs, our team played a total of 21 games, and in those 21 games, of course, the leading scorer was none other than Wemby, averaging nearly 28 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 blocks, 1.5 steal per game. 22 and 9 from Stephon Castle, 21 from Harper, and 18 from Chet Holmgren. In the NBA Finals, we played 4 games. In those 4 games, Wemby was averaging a 30-point double-double, 22 and 7 from Dylan Harper, 17 from Chet, and 16 from Stephon Castle. That is going to be it for today. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds, and click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it is your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.